Howdy folks, Tetsu here, down in lower tiers where the power's low, but the battles are fierce. And today I'll be continuing my self-proclaimed quest to archive all the battles during the first 7U tournament, which thereby hope to bring light to the tier and possibly help it grow. So, join me as we head down to the LB and observe those who've gained an elimination in the first 2 rounds. Our combatants this time will be Celebii versus Useless Uses, with Celebii having lost to the Pizza Man in the first round and Useless Uses losing to BatsDaBats in the second. With an elimination each, they now battling out to see who gets the boot. Either way, their skill should be witnessed here today by both myself and you, the viewer. If you happen to enjoy the video, I humbly request you click that like button. Also subscribe and click that bell if you want to be notified for later uploads. Working together, we can bring more attention to this fascinating metagame. With all that said, let's begin. Alright. Game 1 of Match 2 of the LB. Let's play lead metagame. Tentacle coming out for Celebii and Voltorb for Useless Uses. Ivysaur switched in as Thunderwave comes out and a Thunderbolt goes down, with Ivysaur retaliating with a Body Slam. Explosion from Voltorb, heavily damaging Ivysaur to 32% as it's then sacked to Blizzard by Celebii. Tentacle coming out for both players now, or out for both players, and the rap battle begins. I'm going to speed this up slightly. I don't know how long this is going to take. But both players seem to be committed to the rap. Both of them missed there, it seems, and Useless is now the one in control. Are we going to see a PT switch, or is this literally just going to be whittling down for the next little while? It is highly possible, since both tentacles, the tentacle matchup is really, really important, since not really a whole lot switches into it. Although, if you can get a physical mon in safely with the right amount of damage, you can do a ton to it, or easily finish it off. Tentacles' physical defenses are quite paper thin. So both tentacles... both tentacles should be within range. Oh, there comes the Golbat. Quick switch to Shelter by Celebii as Hyper Beam goes down. Golbat must recharge. Blizzard coming from Shelter does a bit of damage. Mega Drain from Golbat. And Shelter goes for the explosion, taking out Golbat. Very nicely done. Both tentacles are back out, and the rap battle begins anew, but a quick switch, good thing I didn't go to fast, to Meowth from Useless Uses to try to threaten out Celebii. Meowth is faster, and Rhyhorn comes in as Tentacle is switched in from Useless. Tentacle comes back in and tanks a Surf. Hydro Pump coming out and misses. Wrap from Celebii, building and pumping on the damage. Is there going to be more? What are we going to see? Are we going to see another PT switch? Useless Uses down to 4%. Oh, and Rap immediately ends upon that. A quick PT switch to Meowth as Bubble Beam comes down. Clearly expecting Rhyhorn, but Tentacle is going to try to stay in. Tentacle from Useless Uses is sacked, so Meowth can come in and finish off Tentacle, who is sacked. Celebii brings in the Rhyhorn. Ivysaur switched in for Meowth, tanking a Earthquake. Razor Leaf takes down Rhyhorn. Charmeleon is now in. Fire Blast going into the switched in Rhyhorn, and it burns! That means that Rhyhorn is very, very hurt right now when it comes to its attack. But Meowth is switched for Celebii into Earthquake. Even as little damage as it's doing, that is a lot. Still, for a mon that is supposed to be in the very back. But Rhyhorn does go down. Meowth tries to set up a substitute, but gets put to sleep by the incoming Ivysaur, and is taken out by Razor Leaf. Charmeleon is coming back. Fire Blast misses. Body Slam comes down. Fire Blast does hit, but this is not looking good. This could go either way. Do we see a counter? Yes, we see a counter, and Celebii wins the first match! Alright. Whew. That was pretty back and forth. Alright, on to game 2. let's play lead meta game. Tentacool coming from Celebii, and from both players, actually, as the rap battle begins anew. Okay, let's go to fast here. I'll try to keep a watch on here, as both players are clearly trying to whittle down each other's leads, which, oh, a crit now. I'm surprised Celebii's not trying to switch to lower the damage output already into the 50s. Is this rep ever going to stop? Oh, well, Celebii returns the favor slightly, going for their own rep. Again, this is a very important matchup, so I can't really knock either player for this. Although, seeing more raps than surfs and hydro pumps is, I suppose, not unexpected, but both players have missed rap again, which, I mean, it's not 100% accurate, makes sense, but both players are within slash range, although I think Celebii's is within slash range of Charmeleon. Speaking of Charmeleon, here it comes, goes for the slash, but Shelter was switched in and tanks it. Do we see a Blizzard? No, we see a Clamp coming from Celebii, switching in their Tentacool. Ivysaur is going to be switched out for Charmeleon. No Blizzard, though. It was a wrap. Had that happened, Charmeleon wouldn't have been able to tank that really well, since fire doesn't resist ice in this generation. So, I can understand why, because Ivysaur would not have, unless it was crit, Blizzard would not take it out in one hit. So, I can understand Celebii's desire to try to whittle it down a little bit. Alright, here we go. Once again, the rap battle continues. Oh, a quick switch to Charmeleon, and it baits Shelter in from Celebii. Razor Leaf takes out the incoming Tentacool. Celebii is the first to lose a Tentacool, as Shelter was switched in, possibly from Celebii trying to predict something. It did not work out. Ivysaur puts Charmeleon to sleep, but it immediately wakes up. Tentacool has to be switched back out after it was switched in to try to take advantage. Charmeleon does not have counter. Instead, it goes for Fire Spin from Useless Uses. Rhyhorn gets switched in, but it's actually, in a crit. Ow, that hurt. Rhyhorn actually doesn't take fire attacks all that well, despite having resist, something I learned from earlier rounds. Golbat was in, did a double edge, gets switched back out as Tentacool gets put to sleep on its switch in. Charmeleon and Rhyhorn are both switched in, but Charmeleon switched out for Golbat, and Mega Drain goes down. Rock Slide comes in, does about half, but Rhyhorn is then sacked. This is not looking good for Celebii. Double Edge comes down onto Ivysaur's Body Slam. No paralysis. Ivysaur is sacked. Oh dear, this is 2-6. Hyper Beam coming from Golbat. Very good move by Useless Uses. Slash takes out Golbat onto the recharge turn. Fire Blast misses. Slash. Do we see a speed? Okay, Useless Uses actually wins the speed tie. And Celebii takes out the other Charmeleon. Meowth is obviously going to outspeed, takes out Celebii's Charmeleon, as the battle of the Meowths and the speed tie begins. Both Meowths do quite a bit of damage. Celebii manages to win the final speed tie. Hitmonchan coming in, slash, but this is not going to, yeah, there we go. Body Slam, that takes it out. All right. 1-1, ladies and gentlemen. On to Game 3, which I would honestly like to say is actually the thing, but unfortunately, the replay for that was actually lost. I tried finding it, and unfortunately it is not on the forum or anything, and I asked the host, and they said that it wasn't there. So, yeah. A bit anticlimactic, but for those who are curious, Useless Uses will be the one who continues on. So, what did we learn? Shelter really is a bit of an odd pick on the surface, and I can't say my opinion of it is solid yet. Its low special makes it just shy of getting those much desired ranges, and its speed making partial trapping a risky venture. That said, having a decent physical defense stat of base 100 is nothing to scoff at, and its explosion is stronger than Voltorb's, picking up KOs that the ball just can't imagine without a crit. For comparison, Voltorb's explosion maxes at 54.1% on Golbat, where Shell's bottoms out at 66.2%, with the max being 77.9%. Quite a difference. Not gonna lie, seeing Tint going for Wrap on a turn it should have been Meowth food was jarring. Why not just click H-Pump or even Surf? Weird decision. I can only assume that Shelter was sent out to take a nap, but was unlucky to be made into sushi. With the game state the way it was, I can only speculate what was going through Useless Use's head when they made the call to use Leaf. Being as they were ahead by 2 mons, Useless most likely wanted to damage Meowth as much as possible. Even if Charm was the mon sent out, Ivy would chip it and could potentially sleep, since Ivy was at a non-crit Fire Blast range. With the match over, Celebii is officially out of the first 7U tournament, while Useless Uses will be continuing on down in the LB, trying to stay within the tournament running. How long that's going to remains to be seen. If you happen to have found the video interesting, why not join in on the fun? I've got all the necessary links down in the description, from the Discord to the Resource Hub. Hope to see you there, and until next time everybody, take care. Bye!